This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Cedric Simonet, the CEO of Altona Rare Earths, following the announcement of their maiden JORC resource for Monte Nwambe. Now, last time we spoke, Cedric, we were expecting this to come on time, and here it is. So thank you very much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Mark?
Very good, thank you, Cedric. So there's a few things in the RNS I wanted to pick up on, and one of the paragraphs in the RNS states that the estimate, which is focused on the high-grade zones of the deposit, is in line with Altona's expectations. And I just want to talk about the size of the announcement today. That's 13.6 million tonnes at 2.42% TREO. So how are you feeling about this? I know when we spoke about before, I think your gut feeling was sort of 20 million tonnes. So just give me your reaction to this official announced resource here of 13.6 at 2.4%.
Okay. The first thing is that we're already very happy with this result. 13.6 million tons at 2.42%. The first thing is that compared to the exploration target, the high grade part of the exploration target, which was between 6.5 and 11.5, that's already an increase. Another important achievement is that 58% of that tonnage is in the indicated category. And for a maiden resource, that's a very good result. The strategy of the company is to focus on the high-grade zone because we want to fast-track the deposit. We are not interested in producing resource estimates with hundreds of millions of tons, which will never be mineable. We are focusing on what we think will be mineable. So this is a very good start for us. It's a solid backbone. There is a large part of the model which was not included in this resource because it was lower grade stuff. We used the cutoff of 1.5% TREO. That's more than the actual grade of the resources of some of our peers. We still want to increase that figure, and we will do it in very simple ways. This mineral resource estimate takes into consideration optimized pit shells for target 1 and target 4. These pit shells have got a bottom. We're going to drill below to increase the depth of the deposit. That is going to increase the tonnage directly. And we've already seen, if you remember, the press release we talked about last time, target 3 has potential for resource increase. So we're going to increase the tonnage.
Okay, it all sounds very good. I noticed in that same paragraph that you state that the deposit you want to focus your endeavours on the deposit that's going to most likely be exploitable as opposed to drilling for numbers. And you mentioned there you want to fast track. So will you be what areas are you looking at then? Is it target 1 and target 3 will be the areas of the highest concentrate?
Yeah, for now, the resource estimate is based on target 1 and target 4. If you want, I sent you a small map. If you can put it on the screen, maybe we can use it to try to guide the auditors.
The map.
All right, so this map is contained in the RNS and also in the competent person statement that contains the mineral resource estimate. You can see the location of target 1 and target 4. And you can see these black outlines that represent actually the outline of the pits, of the pit shells, which have been designed as part of the process of preparing the resource estimate. So you can see very well that the position of target 3, which is just south of target 1, that little red dot, and that other big red dot, which is just south of target 4, and then all these yellow areas. These are all areas where there is potential for more resources. If you look at reserve statements from definitive feasibility studies of carbonatite rare earth projects in Africa, you will find that these reserve statements all fit between 10 and 30 million tons. We're already in this category with our resource statement. We're going to increase by drilling, by doing resource drilling on some of these other targets. So we already know we've got the right size for a carbonatite rare earth project.
Okay, and I wonder if you talked there about some of the technical details. That 1.5% cutoff grade at a revenue rate of $24.65. I guess we'll see a lot of this detail in terms of the cost and the potential upside coming out in the scoping study. But of course, from the RNS as well, you've talked there about having 0.31% neodymium and praseodymium, which are the magnet metals, basically, representing 42,500 contained tons of both neodymium and praseodymium. So how can people start to, or how can you indeed start to attribute a value to some of these numbers that are coming out?
All right. There are several angles to this. The first thing is that you can see that the RNS, if you look at the table in the RNS, you can see that the MRE is focused on the magnet metals. That's neodymium, praseodymium, terbium, and dysprosium. These four elements represent about 90% of the value contained in the ground at Montet-Mouambé, so that's why we are focusing on them. 0.31% NdPr oxide with that tonnage that corresponds to about 42,500 tons of contained NdPr oxide. Now, about value, of course, the scoping study, which is going to come out in about 3 weeks, is going to have a first pass financial figures such as capex, but also NPV, revenue, IRR, and so on. So that scoping study is going to give a first measurement of the value of the project. But what it's important to note, and we really felt it as we were working with a consultant on our MRE called Snowden of TREO. It's a very reputable geological consultant that does resource statement or reserve statements. We passed the resource statement through some tests which are called RPEEE, reasonable prospects for eventual economic extraction. That's why you can see some parameters which have been shown in the notes of the table, including the design of the pit shells, including assumptions on recovery, assumptions on price, and so on, and a cutoff grade, obviously. So this resource has already gone through a first pass, very basic, but first pass test of viability. The second test now is a scoping study, which will be out shortly.
Okay, well, we look forward to that. It's not long to wait, is it? You say, what, a matter of weeks, really?
Yes, correct.
That's good to hear. I wonder if I can ask you just a little bit on, you said about before being in line with peers. So you're very confident here that what you've got already, you can confidently say that it's in line with peers. I recall you saying last time that the average would be between 20 and 30 million tons at 2.5. So would you prefer to get the tonnage up a little bit more towards that 20 million mark?
Yes, I would, and I think we will. But still, the tonnage we have would be sufficient for a mining operation.
Okay, excellent. Well, just a final thought, Cedric, if I can. You were talking last time, I think, about target for that high-grade standout you had. I think it was 76 meters at 3.426%. Are you continuing to do further drilling on this target? I know you were doing trenching work as well, so the exploration is continuing to go on in the background?
Yeah, this is correct. That was target 3. We've drilled at target 4, but target 4 was infill drilling. We already knew target 4 because target 4 is already part of the MRE. So you were mentioning about target 3 basically, and absolutely we will continue to drill on target 3. We are continuing with exploration on some other targets which I have not mentioned, but you've seen on that map all these yellow areas have potential and we need to test them. So I'm very confident that we will get the resource level, the tonnage to the level we want. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Cedric. Lots of information, technical information in that MRE, which I'm sure the technical people in the team of Altona and other consultants will be chewing through and getting that scoping study ready, which is, of course, when we can really start to understand some of those key metrics like CapEx, NPV, revenue, etc. And we don't have too long to wait for it. But it is good to hear that you are happy with what you're seeing so far. It's in line with expectations, and I'm pleased to hear that there's lots of work going on consistently in the background. So thank you very much for your time today, and I'm sure we'll be speaking in a matter of weeks. Thank you very much, Cedric Simonet, CEO of Altona Rare Earths.
Thank you, Mark. Looking forward to speak with you soon.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.